If I become a local legend, I feel so freaking cool. If there's a witch here with us right now, show yourself. Let's talk about your... Hi. I honestly have no idea how I'm going to start this video, because this is a spur-of-the-moment video, and I want to just start by asking, have any of my other fellow witches come across anybody in the wild, in real life, who has these insanely weird ideas about what witches actually are? And the main point of this video, as to why we are some supernatural creatures that haunt everything? Yeah, nope, I don't know, I don't know. I've had a weird experience that kind of led me down a rabbit hole, and I honestly never would have thought that I would have had this experience in real life to the extent that I did. So I've had an experience with, I want to say maybe they were like college age, maybe. They're very tall, but out in the woods, I don't want to give specifics because I do frequent this place, so I don't want to name it for privacy reasons, but they were ghost hunting, which, if you guys have been on this channel before, you guys also know I'm a paranormal investigator. I have an investigation on here, but it was a public investigation, so we were doing everything that the group did, so none of it was really mine except for like one of the only Estes session that we did. I still kind of kicking myself in the butt for not renting out the place. So if you see that video, that is not my standard. But regardless, they were ghost hunting. It wasn't even like dark yet. It was maybe like 6 o'clock or so. So I see them and they have their gadgets and all this stuff, which, you know, I have stuff too. So like, I can't say anything about that. But I was like trying to walk off to the side because I didn't want to interrupt, but I need to get past them. And it looked like they were camped out in that area. And they were talking to the ghost of a witch who cursed that area. Which, like, I know, I'm not an expert in folklore, or I don't claim to be, like, the high knowledge that knows everything about folklore in my state and in my area. But, like, for years, I've looked into the folklore stories, because when I was young and I was all into the folklore, I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to learn everything there is about my land, especially if it had anything to do with witches, because I am a practicing witch. So when I heard them say they were talking about the witch that cursed the land, my first instinct was like, oh, they must be thinking of Dolly Cole. Because there's different variations. Some see her as a witch, some see her as like a misunderstood woman, some just see her as a ghost, as a spirit. Her folklore is all over the place. But we weren't near her area. So I just stopped and I asked them, and I don't want to give the name of the legend because it'll go forth to that area. I tried looking this up. I couldn't find this anywhere. So like, I don't know where they heard this from. I'm not saying like, I guess technically it can't be true, but part of me is wondering, and this makes me feel so egotistical for saying this, but part of me is wondering if maybe I've become a local weird legend that people want to avoid, which like I'm totally cool with, but like I don't know what to think about that. And like that's where my mind went. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that's accurate. Someone could have just been messing with them and just gave them this weird story to this place where I normally frequent and give offerings, and once in a while I will do some spells there. So I don't know. But anyway, they were saying that there was a witch that cursed the land in that area. Her house used to be there, and she fought with somebody, and then they took her house. So then I'm thinking, I was like, oh, they must be thinking of Witch's Road. Again, we're not that close to it. So I'm like, oh, maybe they're thinking of Witch's Road. The tree is now gone, but, you know, that's a great legend. So, like, you know, I'm trying to talk to them about it. But they're giving me this whole story about the witch cursing the land and with, like, the people taking her house. So then she cursed this very small batch of land, and she's like this evil witch. And then she practices, like, they use color terms for magic, which is, but anyway, they're saying all this stuff, and they're, like, very adamant on how she's, like, such an evil witch. And all these people see her all the time, just walking through the woods, and she's always wearing all black, and she's always wearing, like, flowy clothes and all this stuff, which I am a stereotype, and this is why it makes me think it's me. Maybe, I don't know. But I love flowy clothes, like my long skirts. I love them. I love black. I wear a lot of black. I got color on today, but my pants are black. I tried to do the Karate Kid just to hold my hip. But people will see her walking around, doing her witchy thing in the woods, so they're there to try and see her and trying to communicate with her. And some of the stuff that they were saying had me so confused, because some of it, like, I feel like it's things being mixed up, but because I'm not trying to make fun of them. I'm not trying to, like, poke fun at them. I'm just bewildered by it. They had mentioned, I'm not afraid, I have silver. What? What? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Witches can't wear silver. Like they're in like in a more Abrahamic type setting for those types of beliefs, silver is used to repel a lot of different things. But if you actually look into the folklore, like silver bullets, I talked about it in one of my other videos, but I only mentioned it like quickly in passing. If you look all the way back into folklore when it came to like dogmen, werewolf, shape-shifting creatures, the first thing that they originally melted down to destroy the beast were these silver like religious medallions. I can't remember exactly what they are, but if I could find it, I'll pop it up real quick. But they melted down the religious artifacts that were made out of silver and used that to destroy the beast. The whole point was that it was the religious object that, did the job. And then obviously my video about mirrors, I go into a little bit more about like silver and like soul beliefs. Under the impression that to be a witch, you have to sell your soul or something. I don't know. Then another one was saying I have salt. Like witches don't use salt in their spells. Like what the hell? Anyway, I'm, hanging off to the side where they're doing their thing. So I was like, oh, how interesting. I would love to watch. Is anything happening? I'm not going to tell them that I'm a witch. Maybe I should have. Maybe, Crystal, the same age as them, might have fucked with them a little bit. But like that's just going to lead to more ignorance down the road and more fear. So I'm not going to do that. Plus, I had no idea how they would react, and I was just so thrown back, and I was just honestly curious to see, like, what was going to play out, what was going to happen. Were they going to get any activity? Ooh, what was going to happen? But I only stayed with them for, like, a few minutes or so, but, like, they had their phone out, they were recording. I don't know if it was, like, for TikTok or for, like, YouTube or whatever, but they're, like, talking and, like, right in front of the phone, but they're not really moving too much, like, off the area in the forest. It's kind of like a clearing area where they were, but, like, there was so much more room to move, but they're in one area just kind of talking and then like repeatedly like checking their shot and staring at their shot and then going back and like saying all these things. It was really weird. Then after that, that's when I was kind of like, do people think that like witches are like these crazy supernatural things that like still haunt things? Turns out yes. I tried looking up like haunted by a witch, and there were so many videos, man. There was so many. It seems to be that either for entertainment, where someone was just kind of like, oh, I'm going to make this video and no one's going to really believe it, but it'll entertain people and be a good video. Or the other half are people who still really believe that witchcraft is supernatural, when witchcraft is the most natural thing that there is to me. To me, it's not supernatural. It's all just purely natural. I also have a very much nature-based and land-based practice, but still. But anyway, I want to know, what will it take for me to become this awesome legend that people years from now would want to try and communicate with me and say all these crazy awesome things that I did? This is the cabin of Crystal, the cottage witch. If you leave her coffee and bones, she'll grant your every wish. Actually, if there's a way for me to get coffee and bones in the afterlife from people leaving it, and if I have the ability to grant wishes, I'm making my legend now. If you leave me coffee and bones, I will grant wishes for you in the afterlife. If that's something that I'm able to do, I won't find out until I get there. But if that is something that I can do, that is my legend, because that kind of rhymes. And that was on the fly. I'm telling you, rhyming witches, we should be freestylists. Like, we could be like the sickest rappers. This was supposed to be a wand. What does that have to do with rap? That has nothing. This has been a day. The only thing that makes me apprehensive about people still having these beliefs. People can believe whatever they want. They are entitled to their beliefs. They are entitled to their own opinions. The only thing that does get me a bit wary, all humor and whatnot aside, is that sometimes when it's framed in a bit more, not always, but a bit more of a Abrahamic type of lens, because don't forget, there are Christian witches, is that it can make it dangerous for people who are out of the broom closet, as the saying goes. People who are open about their practice. People who are just living their lives, walking around barefoot, just becoming one with the land that they're on and just hanging out, who likes to light a lot of incense and just chill, are now targeted for harassment and bigotry. It doesn't have to be that extreme, but some places it's not safe for people to talk about their lifestyle. Witchcraft in of itself isn't a religion, it's a practice, it's a craft, it's a grandiose type of thing. You could tie religion with it if you want. You could see things as a spiritual belief from your perspective. You could see things from a pagan religion and belief from your perspective. You could see things from like a Wiccan. There are a lot of like other religions that get tied in with witchcraft that aren't witchcraft. And people try to like cast bigotry and a weird light on those too. It's just so weird, man. I don't like that. I don't like that. People are still scared and off-put by what they don't understand and what they really won't try to understand. And that kind of breaks my heart. That's my gripe with things like that. Maybe I'm overthinking. Am I overthinking it? I could be. Because I can only speak from my experience, who are very aggressive with their beliefs and their opinions, and they try to put off their beliefs and opinions as fact. And you're never going to win an argument. If they were open for discussion and just honestly didn't understand things or wanted to know more, I would love to have that type of conversation with people. I really would. Like, you guys know me. I've been practicing witchcraft for over 28 years now at this point. I think it's getting close to like 29 years. And if you've seen my other video, you know it's been the majority of my whole life, which is like the only thing I ever knew. So I would love to talk about this with people. So that part is my only gripe with it, is that if people kind of keep spreading misinformation and all these weird things that create like separation, it makes me think of people who are just living their lives and they come across one person who heard this. Could even be like a young kid. You know what I mean? Some people just don't care. Again, I could be totally overthinking it. Like, I totally could be overthinking it. Like, and if I am overthinking it because like I'm all in my emotions and my feels about it right now, please let me know. Because if I'm overreacting, I want to know. But looking at these videos, it's like a whole bunch of channels that do it. It's like a whole bunch of different types of people. It's a whole bunch of different types of channels. And like all like the witches like houses that they go and see, or like most of it is like houses or cabins from what I can remember. Or like certain rooms. I'm not gonna lie, they all look as fuck. So of course a witch would want to like hang out there. Like, what the hell? But when they're in these places, they all have the same description of the same witch, and it's always like a stereotype witch. And like, I know I look very stereotypical, like I guess in like the dark aesthetic that of course I would be someone who's into like witchcraft. She listens to metal music, but I also like smooth jazz. Not gonna lie, I did that actually thing again. So I know that 9 out of 10 times I'm going to fit into a stereotype, especially like if I wear my trench coat or my long flowy clothes that I like and the all black and all the trinkets in my hair. I love wearing bones in my hair. I love wearing bone earrings. I have bone necklaces. So I can get the stereotype, but not every witch looks the same, dude. A lot of time with people who are witches, you can't even tell that they're witches. It's like they only think witches dress in all black, and all witches wear all black. And we all have long black flowy hair that's like, down almost to like our knees. And we all have hunchbacks. Like, I have scoliosis, man. You don't have to keep poking at me. And we all did these big, huge curses. That's the weird thing. It's always curses. You know what I mean? Like, all these people say they don't believe in witches and they don't believe in witchcraft all the time, but they're still scared of curses. I wonder what would happen if you tried to explain the difference between a jinx, a hex, and a curse to somebody. Anyway, I'm not trying to be cranky or salty about it, because, like, to me it's honestly funny, but the other half does have me worried for some things. So a lot of people seem to like going to these places to, like, antagonize the witch, when, like, at least 80% of witches are introverted. We We want like our cozy drinks. We don't want to talk to nobody. We want to dance in our house to our music. We want to just either sit with our cards, sit with our candles, sit with our crystals, sit with our bones, sit with our potions, sit with our books, sit with our cat, sit in silence, just not be bothered. Not gonna lie though, like if I was a witch and they were like, show yourself, I would want to turn that into a fashion show. You know what I mean? Like I would want to turn that into a fashion show. You know what? I think I just might. I'm gonna do a little clip kind of like the things that they were saying and like how they were saying it. I'm not doing it to make fun of them because now I feel like I'm making fun of them. I'm not. It was just really weird and it still has me like, because I don't know if it was an act for the camera or if they honestly believed it. I don't know. I really don't know. But like the whole like angry pacing and stuff, like looking around but not moving that area, and then like saying all these things and then checking the camera. I don't know. It could have just been for like a video thing. So if they were doing it for a spoof, then I don't feel like as bad doing it the same way as them. But I would turn it into a fashion show like this. We heard that there's a witch that haunts this place. You want my picture? This is my moment! I gotta go get ready! If there's a witch here with us right now, show yourself. Let's talk about your ex. Let's talk about your ex. Baby, I'm in 100%. But then also, depending on my mood, I would probably want to come out like a creepy gremlin just because. If I'm trying to rest, I'm not at your beck and call, man. If you're going to be weird, I'm going to be weird right back. I'll match that vibe. I'm normally, that's not hard for me to match, but like another way I would probably do it would probably just like run at them all creepy like a tell me in the afterlife if people were coming after you and making you want to talk to them and do all this stuff, tell me you would not want to mess with them just a little bit. Maybe it's my mischievous side a little bit. I don't know, maybe. I can't tell. But the other way that I would do it is most likely probably just like this. But then here's the rest of their interaction. We heard that there's a witch that haunts this place. If there's a witch here with us right now, show yourself. Just gotta say, Rose holding up that EMF detector like I'm using a microwave to set off my spells, like I'm doing some like easy hex or something like that. I swear, I just saw a woman in all black, with all black flowing hair, with all these flowing clothes just dart around the corner. And I got silver and salt. I have stainless steel. Listen. You smell that? Patchouli. And not all witches wear patchouli. Just saying. I do love patchouli though, so I am a stereotype, but not all witches wear patchouli. Did you curse people here? I bet you did. I bet you cursed everyone. I've seen some YouTube videos. I know about witches. Show yourself. I'm not scared. And that long, flowy comment is a thing that made me think it was maybe about me and I'd become a local legend. Like I said, I'm going to laugh if it turns out that maybe people see me going in and there, out of there like around like twilight time because, you know, twilight is creepy to some people. Check out. I totally understand that. And if you don't know what I'm doing, it could totally freak you out seeing some chick all dressed in black going into the woods at night carrying like a little basket of stuff. I get that. I understand. I get it 1,000%. So like I'm not casting any judgment. I'm not, mad or upset or about anything like that. I, on the other hand, think if it's about me, if I become a local legend, I feel so freaking cool, and I am tooting that horn all the way to the afterlife. It could or it couldn't be. It could just be someone messing with somebody. But I'm still thinking about it because imagine if somebody saw me go in and out religiously doing that all the time and they made up a story about me. And here I am minding my own business and wondering like, how come no one makes the spooky things about me? What would it take for me to be a legend for all these people? Like, just like out of sarcasm and stuff, but whatever. But just kind of being like, man, wow, I want to be this famous witch that haunts her space because hell yeah, I love my space. Don't come in and invade it. Of course I'm going to haunt you. Don't touch my book. Unless I'm done reading them, then I don't mind sharing. Don't mess up my plants. Don't reorganize my Star Wars figurines. Don't touch my lightsabers or my guitars. Don't touch my hula hoops and my balloon animals. And we're good. But I was, thinking that like if I was to come like a local witch legend, and then afterwards when I was thinking about it, I was like, what if they were talking about me? Which still makes me feel very egotistical to say, but I don't really see a lot of people go over there. That's why I choose that spot. I'm not in the way of anybody. It's not in anybody's land. I'm not doing anything to destroy the land, because that would be the last thing that I would want to do, especially as a witch, giving offerings to it and working with it. So maybe it's about me, but it also could just be someone messing with them. They could be at a local college somewhere and they're like, we're in creepy New England. We're in the 13th state and the smallest state with all this spooky stuff, and everywhere is basically haunted. And someone just made up a story to mess with them and just set them out into the woods to get them to leave them alone. I don't know. I feel like this video was so mean. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm in a wicked, sarcastic, and silly mood after this. While the other half is still like a little bit apprehensive, thinking about other people. But it was just so like, what to me, having like people say and think all these things about hauntings of witches and all this stuff to me practicing witch. Like, put yourself in my shoes. Think about that. Like, I know not all of you guys are paranormal investigators, totally fine. Or if you guys, were interested in the paranormal or anything like that, just think of something that you really enjoy doing. And then you come across these people doing the thing that you enjoy doing that you don't really see too many people doing out and about. So you go up to them and then they're saying all this weird stuff about witchcraft to you. Part of me is still like wondering, I was like, oh, should I have said something? Should I have said something? I don't know. I'm always normally wearing my pentacle and my eye necklaces. Anyway, I'm ranting and raving about nothing. I really hope I did not come across mean in this video, because that was not my intention. It was just so weird. I got silver and I have salt. Which could probably use that salt. What do you mean? I don't know. Am I being too mean? Am I being too harsh? Let me know. I just had to like get that off and see if anybody else feels the same way about it that I do. Maybe I'm alone in this. And if I'm alone in this, that's totally fine. Just such a weird experience. So weird. It's like surreal. Anyway, I think that is my legend. If I'm not that local legend in the woods, at least to maybe the neighbors or whoever, then that other legend is mine. I'm making that. I'm manifesting that. That is going to happen now. That is my legend. This is the house of Crystal the Cottage Witch. Leave her coffee and bones and she'll grant your every wish. So, yeah, the urban legend of Crystal the Cottage Witch. What's your urban legend? What would you make for your urban legend? I'm curious, if you had an urban legend about you, what would it be? Like, what would be, like, the thing with everything? Think about it and let me know. I'm curious. Let me know down below. Anyway, if any of that was icky, let me take that back from you. That looked weird. I got to use two hands so it doesn't look like I'm milking things that I shouldn't be. Anyway, and I also hope if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to a witch. I'm always open for questions. If you guys have any questions at all about witchcraft and hauntings, or how witches work with spirits, how witches work with the dead, if that's the aspect of it that works, like the aspect of it that like interests you the most, let me know. Be more than happy to answer any questions for you. I don't speak for all witches, and I know that. And I don't speak for all magical practices, but I'd be more than happy to give you my perspective and my years working with it. But that being said, I really truly hope that good things happen to you. Bye. Ooh.